Hey everyone, I went ahead and pre-selected these cards. I have not looked at them yet. One pile I did a sneak peek, but I have not tuned in specifically. So what I am hearing specifically of the nature of these cards is what you need to know from beyond, from the other side, your guardian angels, the spirit realm, and what's about to happen for some of you. I'm gonna keep my expectations low for this, in the sense like no, little to no expectation, just let spirit guide me through this and see what's relevant for you. I'm not going to link this song below. This is specifically for whomever this may be relevant to. It's has to do with, like, if you're here specifically looking or trying to get a message of someone that you love. I'm hearing it's the song itself, the essence of the song, so the lyrics and everything. This is not to do with the music video if they have one. So I'll look into the lyrics, and you could have potentially, or they could have potentially been listening to this song, but I think the biggest confirmation here is in the lyrics alone. So I'm going to write it down, especially because I don't know how to spell the artist's name. Or say it. How do you spell it? Something like this. I think it's, I don't remember how to spell their name, but it's something like this. So this is the song, Forever. Gaiki, something like that. It's the artist. So if that's for you, then hopefully you'll know that, and hopefully this will be received to you. That's specifically why I'm doing it this way, because whomever it's for, I'm not going to make a big deal about it. You will be guided to it. Otherwise, it's not for you, right? The people who don't see it, it's probably not for them. Anyway, so this is pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Okay, hello, pile number 1. Let's see how I'm feeling. There's a disconnect that I'm feeling with you. It's an internal disconnect. So I'm getting several messages. There's the overarching theme here is disbelief, skepticism, bordering cynicism. So cynicism to me is like, you have all the proof you need, and yet you're just refusing to believe it. Like, you're refusing to acknowledge that information. And so what this has to do with is it could have to do with me. Like, maybe you're skeptical of me, or you're skeptical of readings, or psychics, or tarot readers, which are all different anyway. You could be skeptical of yourself, like you're unsure of yourself. It's like feeling like the disconnect, it all roots back to yourself though, honestly, because the disconnect comes from you trying to basically not acknowledge your past, or like something that happened between who you are right now, today, versus who you've been. And I'm posting this in this way. If you've already gone through everything that I'm about to say and have said, then this is just acknowledgement from the other side that you've experienced this, and they're just coming through to congratulate you with this. If you're going through this, this is a message of confirmation and hope. Maybe not necessarily hope, but just reassurance that there's actually going to be a turning point for you, a change for you. It's not you becoming more illuminated or like getting to where you want to be or you're always hopeful or wanted to be. You're there already. Like, you're exactly where you wanted to be, and yet there's a lot of, it's not necessarily confusion, but it's this resistance or not honoring the journey. It's almost like you had this expectation of what that would feel like or what that would look like, and so you're trying to just forget about everything that you've gone through, or like forget about the past. It's something like that. And I'm actually getting several scenarios that they want me to talk about. One being, and then as I'm saying that, I'm being interrupted again, where it's this thought of like, well, why are you just telling me these stories? Just tell me what I need to know, or like tell me this information. And that's the problem. The problem is you're not listening with your heart. Like, you just have this certain idea of the way things are supposed to be, and yet it's like immediate gratification. It's something like that. And there's someone on the other side. It's like a grandmotherly figure who is wanting to, like, very nurturing and wanting to guide you through this and help you grant yourself patience and reassurance. Because again, it's that feeling of immediacy that has been indoctrinated into you, whether it's self-indoctrination or not, because you don't want to process what's going on. Something like that. And so this could also be like you receiving this divine information, this divine wisdom, and yet you kind of curtailing your energy somewhere else and you denying it and being like, no, that's ridiculous, or no, I could never, like, that's not real. Like, I'm just making connections when there's no connections. It's like it's almost like this, it's you not respecting the higher authority. It's like, well, I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't know. It's something like that. It's kind of interesting. So we have Unfinished Symphony. And I'm asking what's unfinished. Like, what's not over. And they're saying it's not over with you. Like, this journey is not over with you. It's like as if you've already mastered the piano, right? Like, you've already mastered being this extraordinary pianist, and yet this potential of who you are, it's like that was just step one. That is you becoming the egg and the protective barrier. And now you're going to crack open the egg and become this next part of who you are. And I'm hearing you don't have to let go in order to grow. Like, you don't have to let go of the things you went through. You don't have to let go of the pain that you have experienced or feel still attribute to how you live your life. You don't have to let go of all of that. You can still be who you want to be and have these points where you step back into your suffering, you step back into your grief, you step back into questioning things. Like, you don't have to be a completely different person, right? Like, that butterfly is still a caterpillar. Like, it's two different perspectives, it's two different angles, it's two different, like, it's identified as two different things, but it was still a caterpillar at one point. Like, you were still an egg. And they're even showing this process of how a chick, when it breaks out of the shell, it's so laborious and exhausting and dangerous for the chick. And yet, that is their nature, right? Like, when divine timing calls, when nature calls, the majority of them will break through, right? Some of them don't make it. And that's whatever kind of circumstances that have created that. And yet, you are destined to break through that egg. And there's also this message where they're saying, you know, even with the chick, yeah, the chick will need to eat, will need to drink water, and yet they're so exhausted when they first break out of the egg that they rest a lot of times. And they actually don't need to eat or drink immediately because the egg has provided them with so many nutrients that fresh out of breaking out of the egg, they can be provided for. Like, that's already within them. And so there's a significance of that with you, where you don't have to worry too much into the future. You don't have to project yourself so far into the future of, well, what do I need to do to prepare for this? Or what if this happens? And all these questions that are valid concerns, but don't let that overtake you. Don't let that prevent you from following that inner calling, following that inner journey. Because you've already been provided those basic necessities that you need in order to overcome this. It's going to be exhausting. It's going to be hard. It's going to be laborious. But that is your destiny. That is your path. That is meant for you to do. We have go the distance in reverse. And so that is that, it's that feeling, that perception that I don't want to take that step forward. It's a resistance, an internal resistance that you have. And yet they're saying, you're already there. You're already there. It's like, it's almost as if you were the chick breaking through the egg, and every time you were doing that, it's like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It's like, but you're still doing it. Like, you're still doing it because that's who you're meant to be. So just acknowledge it, because that chick doesn't want to grow up into a full-grown chicken and still perceive itself as an egg, right? Like, it's just your mindset that needs to change, because you're already where you've wanted to be. You just have to change your expectations and your perception of it to acknowledge it. Turn your heart light on. Reflect on a time when you experienced love. And I feel like this is experiencing inner love, and how you're getting messages upon messages upon messages from the other side that are trying to help you experience that deeper love. And it's a form of self-care and self-love, because you're not shutting yourself off from that truth. Be honest with yourself. Be honest about who you are. Be honest about what you feel you're meant to do. Be honest about the struggles that you've overcome and experienced. You have to, when you're ready, be able to address that. But it's only when you're ready. So it doesn't, I'm not seeing, and 36 is a significant number here, 10 potentially. This is 47, but I see it more as an 11. Like, you can't escape your truth is what I'm hearing. Like, you can't escape it. and you're not meant to escape it. But you're also not meant to force yourself into acknowledging it or recognizing it. But you have to discern between, am I being forced? Am I forcing myself to? Or am I trying to force myself away from it? You know, like, am I just denying it because of pain? It feels like hurt. It feels like pain. Avoidance because it hurts. We have gladiola, strength of character and moral integrity. This is a Helen Keller quote, says, character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experiences of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, vision cleared, ambition inspired, and success achieved. I think that sums it up exactly of what I'm feeling and what I see. And there's an emphasis too to see how she could not hear and she could not see. And any person, if she cared about anyone's opinion, she would just stay like that, right? But she had an inner belief in herself. Yeah, she had some assistance, but she had to really commit herself to that. And not commit herself to the other people's expectations or lack thereof of her. And you could look, like, one could look at her as almost like pity, or like she as nothing, like just whatever, like dismissive. And yet she's solidified herself historically, right? Like, we're still talking about her. She has such an insightful vision. Like, she followed her purpose, is basically what I'm saying. This is just, it's kind of overwhelming. We have clematis, intelligence and mental beauty. This is a quote by Oliver Wendell Holmes Sr. Wisdom is the abstract of the past, but beauty is the promise of the future. So, again, it's a shift of perspective. Like, you are wise because of these experiences, because of how you were treated, because of it feels like neglect in some ways, maybe abandonment, or like just mistreatment, unfair treatment of you, whether this is family, romantic, work, friends. Like, it just feels like disappointment after disappointment that wasn't your fault, and how that dictated your life from those experiences. And you're already where you need to be and where you've imagined you wanted to be, but you just have to open up your mind. You just have to open up your mind, and by doing that, you're opening, it starts with your heart. To open up your mind is gridlocked, and the way to open that up is to open up your heart. It's kind of like the very things we run from, or the sometimes the things that we needed all along. We have letting go and secrets links. And what I see is it's letting go of, it's almost like there's some sort of mystical element to this, like mysterious mystical element that you are kind of putting, the way it's seen to me is it's putting beside you. So whether you're not making a connection that it's within you, or if you're making connection that you're maybe like misusing your abilities, something to do where it's not connecting to your heart, you have to realize that I'm hearing you're safe, you're okay, and you're a lot more powerful than you realize. You're not held back or bound or trapped in the way that you believe that you may be, or you believe that you have been. And maybe in some ways you have been in the past, but it's not that now. It's different now. I don't know, for some of you the name Carrie is significant, or the word carry. I'm hearing carry. And that's what I see. I'm going to pull, let me open all this. I was not going to do this, but I feel like I should. Actually feel, maybe, my goodness. So this is the one that fell out. Surrender. At times we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go. Here's letting go here too. And all will work out. And this is the other one that fell out. Emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. And the other one that fell out, imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new possibilities and opportunities for your life. I have more. I have two more that fell out. The past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith and passion. A magnetic and seductive quality surrounds you at present. Enjoy it. So that's what I see for you guys. That's my reading. And I will see you in my next video. Lastly, I just want to say, because this did not fall out, but it was catching my attention. This is the artwork on it. And it says, reflection. Give each other some space at the moment. Trust and have faith that all will work out for the best. So that's what I see for you guys. Hope this helps. I'll see you guys next video. Bye. Hey, pile number 2. All right, let's see what you have here. Okay, so what do I feel? I feel a lot of laughter from you for your pile. If you're going through something right now, then this is obviously what's coming for you, is laughter, community, a sense of peace. Like, you ever have those days where you're just, I don't know, just everything seems so right. Like, it's like this sense of like living in the present. Like, you know, so sometimes we get so carried away with life we don't even realize that we're always thinking about just what needs to be done, like living in the future and the past, right? And then just kind of like dealing with the present. And then when things are just like so extraordinarily beautiful or exciting, it's that sense of like, whoa, I'm like really tuned into what's going on around me. I'm with people that I love, or I'm like just doing something so simple, and yet like this feels good. This feels really good. This is what I get. Okay. This is what I pulled. I'm pulling these off camera. That's why you could probably hear me shuffling. I just felt like I was gonna pull tarot, so we have this Seven of Swords and the Five of Pentacles, and this actually indicates to me like a moving away from a situation. I am actually more geared toward a relationship when it comes to this pile. If I'm honest, I don't know. I mean, if this has nothing to do with that, then you can either pick another pile or see if this is more interpretive. That's kind of the angle that I'm getting, though, is this commitment to moving forward from something that didn't serve you, and acknowledging that it left other people maybe feeling like they were unworthy or not enough, or they did something wrong. But you had to do what was right for you, like what felt right for you. And like it's paying off. It's paying off because you're following what, like you're doing what's fair. That's what it feels like. It's like yeah, there were parts of it that felt a little bit like not necessarily selfish, because it's not selfish. It's just you taking care of yourself, right? And there could be, like I'm seeing, like almost like kind of like following your obsessions or like obsessive thoughts, but not in an unhealthy way. It's like I was in an unhealthy relationship, or I was in something that wasn't really providing for me in the way, like it wasn't nurturing me. And I had to move away from that. I had to decide for myself that even if this made other people uncomfortable or bothered other people, I have to do what's right for me. I have to follow what's just like, so this is a separate message. Sorry to interrupt what I was saying. This is a separate message where I feel like, and it's being repeated here. It doesn't normally come out like this, but it feels like someone's watching you, like spying on you. And if you left behind a relationship, or you just left people behind, something like that, it feels like they've teamed up with other people to spy on you, kind of thing. Or they're just like, it doesn't have to be in like a super creepy way. They could just be looking at your social media a lot. They could be talking about you, trying to figure you out, wondering what's going on with you. And it's not in a positive way, like, oh, you know, like excited for you. It's in a nosy way. Maybe people who are interested in you, or people who are intimidated by you. People who see you as competition, or if you're in a healthy relationship now and you hadn't been, then they're jealous of that. They see you as competition, or they wanted the person that you're with. Something like that. Or if, you know, it's like someone else's ex or your ex, you know, that kind of thing. And then they're just talking amongst whomever. So, yeah, it feels like you're really in a good place. Again, if you're not right now, this is what's supposed to be coming in for you. I see that very clearly, that you're very comfortable, more than comfortable. You're so happy that you can't help but live in the present. It's like, why do I want to think about anything else but right now? Just enjoying the now. See? This is literally spying. And this is honestly what this looks like to me is just a confirmation. It feels like a male and a female spying on you. It feels like two people at least, but there's at least a male and at least a female that are both spying on you. Because you're happy. Because you're happy, happy, happy. Work, beaver. And I'm seeing this. It's funny because I'm actually, this swirl, it kind of looks like it's like being tickled, like tickling the beaver. I don't know what kind of freaky people are watching this. I don't know if it's 27 significant too, but it's like, I mean, that's literally what I'm hearing is tickling the beaver. And so, yeah, but, irregardless of what that makes me think of, I think it's more of just, I mean, I don't know, I guess it just depends on who's watching this and what that means for you, okay? But let me just pull another one. False indigo, immersion and intuition. Khalil Gibran, quote, when you reach the end of what you should know, you will be at the beginning of what you should sense. Yeah, you follow, this is it. It's like you put the hard work in. You committed yourself to something that honestly seems insurmountable in some ways. Like when the beaver builds a dam, it shuts off that whole flow of an entire riverbank. Like that's so incredible that it could do that, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy, a lot of work to do this. And they're quite vicious. Beavers are really vicious. They're kind of violent, and it's unsuspecting. And so I think that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting for you is it's like you're so cute and cuddly, or like people underestimate you, and if you poke you enough, then they really see your strength. But yet that's kind of like the power of the beaver itself, you know, of just like being vicious. And yet when you put yourself to work, when you commit yourself and put it into action, then that's when the magic really happens and people are like, wow, like I could never believe that. And I think that's more of a reflection on them of like, well, I couldn't do that, so why could they? Or like, I didn't think it was possible. Now I see that it's possible through another person. That's inspiring, right? Like it depends on the perspective of the other person. It feels polarizing to me, honestly, of whatever you have overcome and what you have done, because you already gathered enough information of what you need to know for yourself, and you started believing in your senses and beginning to follow your senses, right? And you put yourself to work and you're being rewarded for that. Like, and I feel like that's another symbolism of being tickled. Like, it's like the beavers, like now they have the potential to play and have fun, you know, and tickle each other, just like, you know, be distracted. They have time for that distraction and enjoyment and pleasure because they committed theirself to the task, and now they have a lot of free time, freed up time. Pink rose, grace and sweetness. Matthew Arnold quote, the pursuit of perfection, then, is the pursuit of sweetness and light. And this is what I think you figured out. Like, I need to follow love. I need to follow my sweetness and what fills me up, what makes me feel happy, what my light is. And that, to me, is perfection. It's like really being grateful and content with fulfilling your needs, your inner needs, your desires. And again, it's not in a self-serving kind of way. It's in a self-care and pursuit of inner happiness, of your inner truth. It's like, I have to do what's right for me. Detoxification, that's exactly what you did. That's exactly what you're doing, is you're getting rid of what doesn't serve you. And I see this as a very cool bath. It's like it's not just, it's better than a bubble bath is what I'm saying, is like those ice baths. Like it's with a purpose that sustains like your body. Like it's like when you have a heavy work day, you know, or working out, and then you take this ice bath. Peace of mind. That's what you're achieving. That's what you've achieved. And I see this rainbow bark. I would look into the significant, the spiritual meaning of that particular tree with those, I think it's called a rainbow bark. I don't know the spiritual meaning off the top of my head. Do I have my phone in here? No. I don't have my phone, so I can't look it up. But look up the spiritual meaning of that. If it has one, I assume it does, because that's important. I'm being drawn to say that and looking at that. And this is such a significant card to me right now, because even with the strands of this plant, like I can feel it. Like I can feel myself running my hands across it and what that feels like. And it's just so comforting. Like the comfort of now. It's just like being at peace with everything. The union of hearts. A love connection defies explanation. So that would verify for me, again, that if this is a commitment to another person, and it feels long in the making, and yet unfaltering. It's like whoever the masculine is in this is like patient. It's like I never gave up. I was always patient and like persistent. And appreciative. And the feminine is like the spice. She's like the spice of life. It's like it reminds me of like landscaping. Like I love landscaping with a lot of greens. As like, I'll get to it. So it's like a lot of greens, and that's the foundation. A lot of evergreens, and you can play with different shades of green, and that alone is just gorgeous. And then you can pop in colors here and there, and it just really highlights different areas of the landscape. And I kind of see that as a representation of this union, where the masculine is that foundation, the landscape that's beautiful in its own right, and yet what really just brightens the whole place is this feminine just coming in and just dazzling. She's the dazzling display of flowers. And I'm seeing like specifically annuals and perennials, where like annuals, they put all their energy into these flowers because they last only a year. And I feel like that's kind of how she is. She's just this performance of a woman, like so beautiful, so gorgeous, so brilliant, and like the life of the party. We have why, and I think this is a acknowledgement of how, like, your guardian angel is saying, like, you did such a good job, and you're doing such a good job of finding the why within you. Why do I do certain things? Why do I desire certain things? Why just inner work, doing a lot of inner work and not being afraid of that inner work, and being curious about it. And ultimately that's what was nourishing you, and it's faded is what I'm saying. Is this connection, or this whatever this path is that I'm picking up on, right? This thing that's happening for you that is so wonderful, a reason to celebrate. It's a celebratory path, chapter in your life is faded. This is meant to be. This is written in the stars. But what I'm saying is, like, you had to pick up that. It's kind of like a chalice, right? Like, it's like the faded chalice. It's like, this is meant for you. This is for you. This is what you're supposed to have. This is who you're supposed to be. This is what's supposed to be going on. And, or like this book, and it's like, well, the information's right there. You just have to go open it. You have to go look at it. And it's like, okay, let me go do it. And you picked it up and you followed your inner guidance, and you're doing the inner work and following your heart despite what maybe seems unusual for people, and it's paying off dividends. And we have happy, and look at all the stars. Again, it's like it's written in the stars. 26, look at that, 26, 27, 28, and then it jumps to 31. But it's like climbing in numbers. That's interesting. So, and I'm seeing it because this is where I was seeing here, and then I can see it here. It just looks the same to me. It doesn't really matter. But what I'm seeing is an audience. So there's a lot of eyes on you. There's a lot of eyes on you. Again, yeah, you're going to have a lot of people who are threatened by this for some reason. A lot of people inspired by you in your journey. And whatever this connection is that I'm seeing. There's a lot of inspiration drawn from this. And how that comes across, I mean, whether you're in the public eye, whether it's within your community, irregardless, it's like if you inspire one person, that one person goes off and it changes the course of their life, right? And so it's just really important what you're doing, and really beautiful how you're doing it. So I want to draw another card deck. I know which one I want to pull from, but I don't have it here. I do have it, but I'm actually going to send this off to my friend, so I'm going to use it once. I have my own of this, and I accidentally got two, and I feel like I should give it to them, so I'm going to, but... So we have Courage, Archangel Ariel. Be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. And Compassion, Archangel Zachiel. Soften your heart and respect to the situation and all the people involved, including yourself. It's acknowledgement of your courage and compassion. And lastly, overcoming difficulties, Archangel Jeremiel. The worst is now behind you, and you are surmounting any previous challenges because you've been following your passion. You've been following your inner light, your inner truth, your inner guidance. So it's beautiful. That's amazing. Happy for you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Hey, pile number 3. This is your reading. I feel movement. I feel a little restless, or like action, like your action-oriented group. Let's see. It feels like like with this, like your inner guidance or inner truth is propelling you forward, in the sense like you want to it's kind of like your outer world is reflecting your inner world in some ways. Like, let's say if you have childhood wounds that you are aware that you need to heal in order to overcome whatever kind of obstacles in life, and then that's being reflected in your outer world. Like, you're afraid of arguments. Like, you had a lot of conflict when you were a child, so you have this avoidant personality, but then that kind of, because you were avoidant, you ended up in situations like a workplace environment that's hostile. So then now you're kind of repeating that by avoiding it, but you're aware that you're aware of it. You're self-aware. And you are at this crossroads, or at this point where you're like, you know, I've been working on it at a safe pace for myself, and I'm willing to take this, basically I want to take this burden off my shoulders. I don't want to have to deal with this anymore. I'm ready for change. I'm ready to, it's like I'm ready to take these bad experiences and use it to my advantage. This is supposed to be explaining this, I feel. So what's this? Learning, sacred ibis. I think that's the same thing. It's like you are responsible for walking through the door, and you're aware of this. You're responsible for the tower falling, right? And I'm seeing the number 22. I don't know if 22 is significant to you. It's right here. And so it could also be 7 or 77, because I'm taking the 5. 5 could be significant, but the way that I'm seeing is 5 is connecting to both the 2 separately and creating the 77. But what I'm seeing is how, you know, like with the tower card, when that falls, it's actually a blessing in disguise, because it's built on a foundation that would have been destined to fall anyway, because it wasn't strong, it wasn't sturdy. And this is something that you know that you have to do. You're ready for it. Yeah. It's almost to the point of impatience. It's this point of like, I'm at this sacred door. I'm ready to open it up. Like, I'm tired of waiting. There's this person, they started this foundation, and I thought that this was so powerful, because I felt this way before, and it always stood out to me that they said this, where the reason they started this foundation is because they had this inner calling within them that was so loud, it was to the point of distraction. And that's what I see here with you, is like you've had all these inner changes within you and doing the inner work that is it's to the point that is driving you by distraction. It's like, I need to do this. I need to make this change because I've outgrown this environment, right? Like I'm willing to take this helping hand. I'm willing to take this assistance that is guiding me away from this toxic environment, this toxic situation. Like I am willing to like stomp on my fears and stomp on like the things that have ever held me back from before, because I want to be like, it's like I have everything set up for me to be happy and I'm aware of this. I just need that one thing to feel fulfilled. I just have one more thing that I need to do, type of thing. Amaryllis, Maya Angelou, determination and creative achievement. You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. And you know this. I think that's where you're at. Oh, the Tower. I just split the deck and it's the Tower card. Lily, majesty and virtue. This is unknown quote. The lily is the emblem of a rare. Oh wait, the lily is the emblem rare of many virtues, good and rare. What? I don't understand that quote. The lily is the emblem rare of many virtues, good and rare. Anyway, and they're actually, look, they look the same. But I guess that's how you see yourself too, is like, and I'm not the same. The card that just fell down is the Fool card, which is so you. Like taking that leap of faith. And look at how confident he looks. Like just assured. Like, God will save me. God, like I can, like it will protect me. And that's really what the dog's doing. His loyal companion is warning him if he's doing something out of control. He'll listen, or at least be tugged away. And you're being encouraged. You are being encouraged. Because you do stand out. This change is good for you. Financial flow. And it kind of shows me you rising through the ranks. So if this is a toxic environment, work environment that I'm picking up on, and you deciding that you want to go somewhere else or start your own that has whatever to do with this, then I'm seeing that as a good thing for you. A calculated risk, at least, not anything that's impulsive. Honoring your true feelings. Yeah, it's something that you've been thinking about for a long time. You've been dreaming about this for a while. Have patience. It's interesting because I was looking at, I mean, this looks the same, does it not? And I see this as like emotion, like rivers of emotion falling, like instances of hardships, like of like feeling hurt, feeling betrayed, feeling neglected, feeling like your opinions don't matter, like you're not being valued enough, feeling like you have these great ideas. What is this? Is there a rejection here? Maybe you were rejected in some way. Or someone chose, like if someone chose someone else for like a job promotion, or someone chose someone over you in a relationship, like they progressed in a different relationship, and you would hope for more with them. We have to be fair. To be fair, whatever it was wasn't for you. That wasn't for you. Because what you have set for you is something much bigger than that. You know this. You know that. We have truth be told. And here the doors are open. You know 7, 7. And then we have 14. 17 and 38. But I think that's the one that really calls out to me. Those might be sick of it, but the one that's really calling out to me specifically is 7, 7, 15. 14. I just see this, like, whatever this is, this rejection that I see, or whatever it is, something that didn't pan out that you were hoping for, this is just confirmation that you would not have been happy with that. Like, I see this emphasis of the mask being you. Like, you would have had this door shut on you all your life. You would have had to have this mask on, this golden mask on all your life, and you would be constricted. You would be uncomfortable. You wouldn't be yourself. You wouldn't be your true, like, walk in your truth, your truthful self. It wouldn't have been right. The scales would have been unbalanced this entire time, and you would just wonder what things would be like. You would wonder why you feel empty, why things are feeling uncomfortable. And because it didn't work out, it was like, for some of you it might have been a light bulb moment, but I think it was like potentially a light bulb, but then this slow turning on of the lights of like, okay, now I really see why I don't like it where I'm at. I can see where that parallel to things in my things have sorry, I'm just thinking because I'm seeing this is a specific message. Ow, sorry. My foot is stuck underneath me. For some of you, you're in a position where a lot of people, you're responsible for a lot of people in your past. And I mean, this is a specific message that they're no longer with us. And you're kind of looking at this of like, where do I go from here? Like, that's a specific message for someone. There's also this message of people who, like, you're in the public eye, and if you don't take this through the door, if you don't walk through the door, then these people who are like staunch supporters, like they're just following you, they will be lost. Like lost souls, that will be lost. Like if you don't move, like if you don't, it's the Fool with the cards still at the top, no. But I see this as you, this independent person, is like you, and this could also be like where I'm seeing in the workplace too, like if you are the head of a department or something and like people are working underneath you. You have to do what's right. That's what I'm saying. Like you have to do what's right. And it has to do with like maybe like exposing something, like exposing secrets. Like you have to be the messenger of truth. I am not passing gas, if you can hear that. That's my foot rubbing against my chair. Yeah, this is a specific message for someone. Like you have to lead yourself away from temptation. And by doing that, you're leading others away from temptation as well. You have to really plan for this. And like it's knowing your role. So take this, now this is more of like an interpretive, I mean this whole thing's interpretive obviously, but like what I'm saying is like you are, like you have to know your role in the world, or like, and I don't mean just like in your role in your workplace or whatever this is, or relationship. Like you have to know your role and in society. It's in your soul's path. Like who are you? Why are you here? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And you have to follow that. You have to follow your strengths. And an example would be like if you were at battle and you're the I won't even say what position you have. You're in battle. Positions don't even matter at this point because it's just a war zone. And now these other soldiers, like a soldier's grieving, like he's just overwhelmed with what happened. And so now there's another soldier that's going to comfort that person. And your impulse, your inner skill is to prepare. You're like, heck, you know, like there ain't no time to be crying over this kind of stuff, you know. I want to cry too, and I want to comfort you because I'm a comforting person, but we got to get out of here. We got to figure this out. You know what? That's not your role then. You don't cry. You don't comfort. Those aspects exist within you, but your skill set is to gather. So gather things up. Let the person whose primary focus and skill is to comfort go comfort the crier. Let the crier be the one who grieves on behalf of everyone, and that's their skill set, you know, at the time. And it let that work in tandem. Like eventually it ends up working out because they're going to appreciate being able to release all of that grief so that they can operate at their best. That comforting person fulfilled their needs, and now they can come back and you have all the resources gathered so that you can keep surviving and keep battling, whatever the scenario, right? And so it's kind of like, don't look back on the way that other people are operating and feeling like I have to do this and do that. Like you have to kind of go with what they're doing. just kind of like allow them to do it in peace and yet working together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll say it in one other way and then I'll stop, where basically, like, you don't have to, it's almost like you don't have to agree with everyone on what they're doing. You just have to get along. And staying in your true nature and being independent of your own thoughts and beliefs and the way that you present yourself or work in the world is okay. It's good. It has its personal strengths, you know, and from there, that's going to help other people operate at their best. Something like that, okay? Something like that. And we have the scales coming through again. I'm going to see what's going on here. I just have this okay, listen, like this doesn't have to be evil, right? Like the death card's a good card. And it's just a card, really. It's just a card. But it's interesting because I'm distinctly seeing evil coming through in this reading. You're not evil. It's this protection or this defense against evil. And how it's coming in between you. And so maybe this is like a temptations or something, like the scales is like good and evil, the scales of justice. And this is being represented as like this dead horseman, like they're just, it's like a zombie. It's like people who are operating without using thoughts or heart or soul. Like they're just operating off of like evil. And so you have to be in tune with yourself. You have to be in tune with your beliefs and where you're journeying to, and being truthful, being open, being honest, and being patient and kind with other people and how they are discovering things or understanding things, and acting from a place of fairness and truth and honesty with other people, and also with yourself, of like, I don't have to take on a role that doesn't feel right for me, right? Like I don't have to do that. But it's just like so fascinating to me how I'm like seeing this distinct good and evil, which is like interesting to me. But I think that also has to do with like this door, the sacred ibis or the sacred door, where it's like, it's up to you. Like you have to walk through that door. No one will do that for you. And I think you are doing that. You are honoring your true feelings. You are, it's like sounding the alarm. That's what I'm saying. Is like you need to sound the alarm. You need to maybe for some of you, and however this represents, but this is a specific message for me of like a whistleblower. Like you have to sound the alarm. You have to tell the truth. You know, and I'm seeing these grapes and how it's like this. The grapes to me in this reading is like this temptation. It's like a temptation. You see she's grabbing the coin. It's almost like do as I say, not as I do. Like it's like she's whispering to the bird, like, go spread the message, but I'm gonna be this. And it's like kind of like infiltrating, like if you were in a business that has poor practices and you're infiltrating it, and I don't know, I'm just like getting so many weird scenarios, honestly. This is a diverse pile. I hope this is making sense to you in some way. I'm just gonna pull this like heart card. I'm gonna leave it at that because I'm just gonna give up. I'm gonna step out of this because I've said enough and it's just all over the place. But basically what I'm seeing is like, when I connect to the very beginning of the reading and that connection between like childhood wounds, and you being self-aware, it's like you realizing how that repeated in life and how that connects you to your inner truth and like your inner goodness. And you just have to take the reign. Like, you have to take control of the situation, which I think that you're doing. And so this is just confirmation, like, to continue to do the right thing. And you don't have to explain yourself to anyone else, because the truth is going to come out and justice is going to prevail irregardless of what this situation is. And, yeah. The heart is the true seat of power. So just love everyone involved and all will unfold gracefully in its own time. An angel watches over you with patience, love, and perseverance. All will work out fine. Be guided by the wisdom in your heart. I'm going to turn them both this way because I was stuttering on that and mispronouncing things. What you are today was greatly influenced by your past thoughts and attitudes, and your present thoughts and attitudes are the building blocks of your tomorrow. Therefore, be mindful and aware of your thoughts. Positive thoughts now will help create a brighter future, because every thought is a seed. If you plant weeds, you can't expect to harvest beautiful flowers, which I think you already recognize that. These are the other two that fell out. So it says, are you feeling a little lost and confused, wondering which direction, if any, to take, and questioning what it is that you really want from life? Perhaps it's a time to console your inner child. You know, the one you've kept locked away for ages, the one who holds the essence of the real you. Isn't it time to listen to your heart? Do not give in to fear and doubt. Courage is called for now. Face your fear. Look at things objectively. You are safe and all is well. Fill your fear with love. Beyond fear, love is guiding you, urging you to break free. You will succeed. One more. The one that's sitting on the top. And this is it. Help is on the way. The raging sea will soon abate, and a great light will heal your heart. This is a time of deep, profound, and positive transformation, but courage, strength, and patience are required. You are supported by a sea of love. Okay. That's what I see for you guys. Bye. Hope it helped.